You're walking down your street minding your own business. You start noticing something off. Everywhere you look, on people's porches, jammed into trash cans, tucked under a delivery guy's arm, you keep seeing these loud orange bags.
Look what's arrived, it's time for another Temu art haul.
It honestly doesn't feel normal anymore. It's like an app escaped your phone and burst into the real world. And I'm not being dramatic. Just 1 year, app called Temu went from never heard of it to one of the most downloaded apps on the planet. In the US, there were times where it actually outran TikTok and Instagram. We are talking tens of millions of people hitting download in the States alone. Why? Because they dangled a deal that shouldn't even be possible. They're talking $2 headphones, $5 kitchen gadgets, all designed to give you this wild feeling that you are some kind of billionaire with a bank account that never runs dry.
Download the Temu app and shop like a billionaire.
But wait, here is the kicker. The second you open that app, coupons start popping up on screen. That wheel of fortune somehow hits jackpot every single spin. Your brain just gives up playing defense. You're not shopping anymore. You're chasing a dopamine jackpot. The same way your brain lights up when you're sitting at a casino slot machine. 2025 Americans poured billions of dollars into this platform, ordering literal tons of plastic junk just because it felt basically free. The whole system turned shopping into a game where you always winning. But did you ever pause, like really stop, and ask why any company would be willing to lose dozens of dollars on every order you place just to get you to top pay? The math doesn't lie. Behind those tiny receipts is one of the most aggressive, cutthroat business strategies we've seen in a long time. In the world of big money, nobody, and I mean nobody, gives you something for nothing. If you're not paying the real price for the product, then the product is you. Trust me, once you understand what they're actually taking from you, those orange bags start looking less like fun, more like a warning label. Shop like a billionaire. Sure, it's catchy, it sticks in your head, but it's really a psychological booby trap. Think about it for a second. What actually makes someone a billionaire? It's not just the private jet or the yacht docked in Miami. It's the fact that they've never even flinched at the price tag. When you open Temu, the app is trying to trick your brain into that same feeling. When sneakers cost $5 and a toolkit is $3, the price stops being a problem. You stop weighing options, you stop comparing, you stop thinking, you just stop. Add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. That moment your brain is dumping so much dopamine, it feels like you just cleared out half of Fifth Avenue. Even though in reality you blew $20 on a pile of plastic you didn't even need. But the real trick starts the moment you open the app. This is not a store, it's a digital casino dressed up as a marketplace. You get hammered with pop-ups, countdown timers flash that your deal dies in 2 minutes, and those endless wheels of fortune. Psychologists have a term for this: dark patterns. Temu is running the same playbook as Vegas slot machine designers, keeping your brain in a trance. You don't feel like you bought something, you feel like you won it. You walk away feeling like the smartest person in the room, because you beat the system and grabbed something for pennies. Here's the messed up part. While you are celebrating your win, the algorithm already knows your next 10 moves. And that's where the big lie lives. Temu is torching hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter just on ads on Meta and Google to keep you mesmerized. Analysts think the company may be losing dozens of dollars on individual orders, especially when they're shipping to the US or Europe. Just stop and think about that. They are literally paying you to take stuff off their hands. Why would a massive corporation do charity on that scale? Simple. They don't care about your loose change. They're after something way more valuable. To see what that is, you've got to rewind to where the whole empire started. To really understand how big this game is, you must forget the orange bags just for a second and look under the hood. This story starts back in 2015 in China. Former Google engineer named Colin Huang decided he wanted to build what he called a mashup of Costco and Disneyland. He launched a company called Pinduoduo. While giants like Amazon and Alibaba were battling out for wealthy city customers, Huang chose to chase the people everyone ignored. Hundreds of millions of people in poorer regions and tiny villages. He figured out one thing competitors were missing. These folks don't care about brands, they care about bargains. To serve that up, turned shopping into a kind of social illness. The trick was ridiculously simple. and insanely effective group buys. You see a pack of napkins for half off, but you can't grab it solo. You've got to recruit a friend, a neighbor, a cousin, anyone you can rope in to unlock that lower price. In just a few years, Pinduoduo went from scrappy startup to a $100 billion giant. They cracked the psychology of group shopping. People weren't buying because they needed something. They were buying because the deal felt too good to miss. But Huang's real secret sauce was something called C2M, consumer to manufacturer. It basically nuked everything we know about retail. No massive warehouses, no layers of distributors, no middle managers, almost no branding. The system links your smartphone directly to a machine in a Chinese factory. Those factories only started pumping out product when the algorithm saw demand spike. Here's the problem with being that efficient. When you squeeze every cent out of supply chain, eventually you start slicing into things that actually matter. What started as making shopping fair and cheap slid into something way darker. In March 2023, something happened that should have made millions of people instantly hit delete on that app. Google took the rare step of kicking Pinduoduo off the Google Play Store over what they called serious security violations. Cybersecurity experts found that the app was using super aggressive methods to dig into your phone system, way beyond what any normal shopping app would ever need. Makes you wonder, right? Now, Temu insists it's a totally separate company, but it was built by the same people on the exact same foundation. So when you install it, you're basically inviting a digital stranger into your life with no real idea what they can do, just so you can get a faucet attachment for $1.50. But why? Why would a store need to spy on you? Let's just use some basic logic and do the math. Shipping a package from China to the US or Europe costs a lot of dollars. You're buying stuff for $3 with free shipping. In the end, the company might be losing around $30 on every single order you place. Big business, nobody runs a charity like that. If you're not paying the price, you are the product, like I've already said. Temu doesn't really care about your pennies. They care about your data. They're after your contacts, your metadata, your browsing habits, spending patterns, and your financial details. That's the new oil. And Temu turned your phone into a drilling rig that never shuts off. They use that information to train manipulation algorithms that are getting harder and harder to resist. There is another price we are paying, that most of us never see. To keep those prices in the basement, Temu leans on a giant loophole in global trade law. They ship millions of tiny packages straight to individual customers, which lets them dodge lots of taxes and fees your local stores have to pay. It's a quad economic attack that slowly bleeds local businesses and jobs. And then there are the factories. The scariest part. Reports from the US Congress have raised serious red flags about the risk of forced labor hidden in these supply chains, stuff the company itself can't fully trace. So the deal is simple and brutal. You get a cheap trinket, the world gets a warped economy and a new flavor of digital slavery, all sealed in orange plastic. Temu is an expert at using this loophole called the minimis. It's a rule that lets packages under $800 enter the US with almost no taxes and barely any checks. Sounds like a boring legal fine print until you understand the scale of it. Millions of these little orange bags are flying over the heads of local shop owners who actually have to pay rent, pay workers, pay taxes, and follow labor laws. This is not fair competition. It's a slow execution of small business. Temu is hacking the economy, turning borders into a sieve where jobs and tax money leak out. What's left behind is a row of empty storefronts on your street. But the most dangerous damage isn't just economic, it's in our heads. And something costs less than a cup of coffee. It stops feeling like a thing and becomes a trash in transit. We are not really buying objects anymore. We are buying a 5-second dopamine hit, and then the plastic junk goes straight to the landfill or the ocean. And the most cynical part, we know about the data risks, the garbage quality, the environmental mess, but the system has already worn down our self-control. We are stuck in this platform cynicism, where we traded our right to a real choice for a free shipping coupon. the end of the day, the bright orange bag on your doorstep doesn't prove you scored a great deal. It's a tombstone for the idea of value. We thought we were outsmarting the system by grabbing mountains of stuff for almost nothing, but the system handed us a bill. We can't pay with cash. We invited a digital spy into our pockets, sacrificed the survival of local mom-and-pop shops for a loophole, and buried the planet in plastic. Just feel good for 5 seconds about something we really don't need or want. Real death of value is when you can't tell the difference between something real and trash in transit. We turned our lives into a never-ending rental of disposable junk. So while you're ripping open that orange bag, ask yourself one thing: are you actually shopping like a billionaire? Or are you just feeding a giant machine that's turning our world into a disposable landfill? Because in this deal, the cheapest, most undervalued product is us.